Hey guys, welcome to this video, and it's time to tell you about 9 tips to conserve battery life on your Gear S3 Frontier smartwatch. Now, as you guys know, that Samsung claims that it can run you for 4 days, but unfortunately that's not true. It does not go for 4 days. It hardly even goes beyond a single day, at least in my use case scenario. Now, battery review is coming up, but right now I just want to tell you about these 9 tips that you can use to conserve battery life on your Gear S3 Frontier smartwatch. So I'm just going to start with simple things here, and the number one simplest thing and number one tip that you can do to conserve battery is to turn your brightness low. So you can do that by simply swiping from the down on the home screen and go in the brightness, and from there just dial it down. Now, tip number 2 to conserve battery life is again very simple. Now, as you might know, that this display on Gear S3 Frontier watch is basically an AMOLED display, so the dark displays or dark backgrounds actually are not conducting any light, so they're turned off. They're basically turned off. They're not using any light. So you can conserve battery life by just having watch faces that are dark or have a dark ambience to them. So just tap on it and select any one of these watch faces that has a dark background. I guess this one works pretty well. Just long press on them and press stylize, and once you're there, so you can just go to from white to black, and that would conserve your battery. Now, my tip number 3 for you is to turn on auto low brightness, and to turn that on, go in settings like this, and in settings go in display, and in display you will see this option called auto low brightness. Go in there and turn it on, and what it basically does is that it adjusts the screen brightness according to the environment. So if you're in a darker room, it will reduce the brightness automatically. Now, the next tip that I want to tell you is the most important one, and it will actually have a great impact on your battery life. So if you are not using any connections, and if you're not if your device is connected to your smartphone via Bluetooth, turn off everything else. So turn off your connections, and to do that, once again go in settings, and in settings look for option called connections. Go in connections. Now, I've got Bluetooth turned on here because I have it connected to my device, and that is important. Obviously you want your Gear S3 to be connected to your device, but turn off everything else. Turn off Wi-Fi, turn off NFC if you're not using it, and turn off location, because you will probably be using location from your device. So turn that off in here. The in-watch GPS will be turned off, and it will reduce the battery consumption and will improve your battery life significantly. Now, the next tip is to turn off auto heart rate. Now, that is on by default when you get the device and you unbox it and you wear it. It's turned on, so you have to turn that off as well. If you are not using fitness features very regularly, you can turn it off. So go in S Health app and go all the way in the settings, and in settings go in auto heart rate, and go in auto heart rate and then turn it off. Now, the next tip that I want to talk about is to turn off the always screen on feature of this device. So if you want to get that extra juice out of the battery, you have to turn it off because it drains your battery faster than anything else. So go in settings, and in settings go in this option called style, and in style you will see this feature called watch always on. Just turn it off. Once it's turned off, the display will turn off after some time and will conserve the battery. Now, the next tip is again related to the screen timeout, and to control that, go back and go in display, and in display you will see this option called screen timeout. Now, if you have your watch always on feature turned off, you have to select this timeout, because it will actually control after how much time your watch will turn off, or your watch face will turn off completely. So you can turn it off, or you can control it. You can set it at 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, and 5 minutes. Now, moving on to the next step, let's go in menu, and in menu go in settings, and in settings look for accessibility, and go in accessibility, and in accessibility go in VN, and in VN go all the way down and look for grayscale and turn this one on. Once you have this turned on, it will turn your screen to grayscale, and everything will be turned to black and white, and you'll not be able to see any colors here. So everything is black and white now, and this actually also improves the battery life on your device, and because it turns everything black or white and there are no colors, so less strain on the battery. Now, the last tip that I want to tell you is something that is actually built in this watch for this exact purpose, and that is the battery saving feature. Simply long press this menu button here and it will take you to these gear options. In here you have power off option, touch sensitivity, and then power saving option. Turn this one on and it will again turn your screen to grayscale, but the functionality is limited. You will not be able to use any apps, but you will keep on getting notifications from your device, and this is what you'll get. Now dialing to the right is, you lose your widgets, but you still get your notifications from your phone, but you cannot interact with those notifications. So the functionality gets limited, but it improves your battery life significantly and gives you that extra juice at the time when you really need it. So guys, these were the 9 tips for you to conserve battery life on your Gear S3 Frontier smartwatch. Now I hope these tips are useful for you and you can really work with them. And if you have any more questions about your Gear S3 Frontier watch, you can always ask me in the comments, or you can catch me up on Twitter. And I'll see you in the next video guys. Till then, take care. Bye bye.